What's happening, people? Thank you for tuning in to the Lion's Roar vlog. We are on chapter 40 of the first book of Adam and Eve. It's two books of Adam and Eve. We're in the first one, chapter 40. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. If you would like to catch up to where I am so far, it's all posted in a playlist on my YouTube page. It's under the books of Adam and Eve, and it's all in order, so come to that. All right, chapter 40. Then the word of the Most High came to Adam and said unto him, O Adam, why? Okay, now remember, this is, you're kind of going to hear like a little old English. So bear with me here. Sometimes when I read these sentences, I will then go back and try to kind of like pull it into modern. But that's one of the things that we always have to do when we're dealing with this stuff. You're dealing with translations. So always understand that. The English did not write these things, okay? The English did not write the Bible, okay? The King James, we're not even going to get on King James right now. I just got done reading a quote, in fact, about King James not too long ago, actually. And it said, well, I'm not even going to say what it says because we're not even going to open up that can of worms. But King James was on some different stuff. He was not a servant of the Most High at all. His name being on the front of that book is more a political move, more a move of it's bureaucratic move more than anything. You understand? Him just wanting to etch his name in history. And even if he didn't realize he was etching his name in history, he wanted his name to be notable enough. And that was a way that he felt like he could have did that. So, but anyhow, they translate, okay? So when you're dealing with all the these and thous and hadst and all this different stuff, that's a translation. That was not the way these people were talking even, okay? So understand that, all right? That's always to be understood. So the word of the Lord came, or the word of the Most High came to Adam, because remember in the previous chapter, at the end of chapter 39, there's Adam has been blessed with these figs, and he don't want to eat the figs because he's so deep in his mind where even the provision that the figs was supposed to be, he's trying to like not eat the figs because he thinks that him being self-righteous in that way is going to prove something because, well, he's so messed up about the fact that the one thing that he did partake of or that he did do that he got told not to do, he's so messed up he don't even want to mess with the fig now, even though the fig was a blessing to him. So this is kind of like the response to that. That's all of the before what was going on that I can give you. Go listen to the previous video. So this is the response of the Most High to Adam. So the Most High says, O Adam, or O first man. Remember that. Adam just means first man. O first man, O Adam. Why hadst thou not this dread, or why didn't you have this dread, neither this fasting, nor this care, you know, like, where was this at, you know, before this time that you're in, you know? And he says, and why hast thou not this fear before you did transgress? Or why didn't you have the worry and the concern to not disobey what I told you to do? Why you again, what I just told you, he just got a blessing. And then he sits up and says, oh, he, again, fake self-righteousness. I just got done praying for a few hours. And I just got done talking about that. Fake self-righteousness. I'm not even going to get into it. But this is exactly what that is. A provision comes down for you that you asked for, but you want to sit up and talk about, I'm not going to eat it because I don't want to mess up. So now the Spirit's like, bro, what are you doing? This is a provision for you. I just gave you what you asked for. Now you want to sit up and do all this. And now the Spirit is like, where was all this when you was in the higher state? When I told you don't do ABC 1, 2, 3. Now all of a sudden you want to be hyper vigilant about everything, Adam. Even the provision that I'm trying to give you right now in the lower state that you in. It's not making no sense, Adam, first man. Yeah, so that's what's going on right now. So let's keep going. So the Spirit is continuing to talk. This is a very short chapter, by the way. But when thou camest to dwell in this strange land, or when you came to dwell in this strange land, your animal body. Man, I'm a science guy. I can't tell you how many times I try to talk to people about the fact that, hey, you're a mammal. Stop tripping. Like, humans especially get this weird thing where they think that they're outside of the classification of species. Bro, chick, you're a mammal, okay? As mammals, all we have to do is go look at the bears and look at why certain things happen around us. As you be trying to figure out like why certain things is going on, go look at the bears. Go look at the wolves. Go look at these other mammals out here and see what they, especially the bears, and see what they have going on. The imprintation. Like I've tried to tell so many sisters, be careful who you let in and out your den, because you're a mammal. Your kids are going to imprint off of the man that you let in and out your den. If that's not your regular, consistent papa bear, then you better be careful, because they're going to imprint off of what bear you let in and out your den. Why? Because you're a mammal. It don't matter what good you try to give them or do for them. They're going to imprint off of what's in and out the mama bear's den, because that's science. That's fact right there for mammals. And there are other species that's not really like that. You understand? So mammals have that specifically. And a human being is a mammal. So what did he say right here? He said your animal body could not be on earth without earthly food to strengthen it and to restore its powers. And the Most High withdrew his word from Adam. So remember, Adam was regularly pressing in, trying to figure out like this hunger. They're not used to it, especially Adam, because he had been here longer than Eve. Remember that he was created first. So, and now when we deal with these things, we don't really know how long Adam was here before Eve was, or before Eve came onto the scene. I mean, we have a general understanding of like the timeline of how things went down, but the reality is we don't know how long Adam was around by himself without Eve. So during those times, you have to understand, you're dealing with a being that didn't know hunger like this. What does the Spirit say to him? Your animal body, animal. That's the key word right there. Thy animal body, or or this state that you are now in, because you're not in a higher state anymore, first man. You need this. Now you need food for energy. Remember, we've been dealing with this. It's way up earlier. It talks about how it was just for pleasure. They didn't put that in their mouth for sustenance. It was a beautiful thing to them. It was something that was just, a blessing, a privilege, all these things that he's now having to worry about: light, dark, sleep, eat, all this different stuff. And the Spirit literally says to him, your animal body could not be on earth without earthly food. Animal. So that's part of the issues that the human being is having with dealing with morality. It's the animal mind. Look, there's a story coming out of where I grew up at, the city I grew up in. And it's such a barbaric story of murder. Like someone murdered their wife in a horrific way, stabbed her 17 times, and she died. That's animalistic. That's not higher nature. That's not even humane. That's the animal. That's the animal body. That's the low vibing, dark thing that just wants to have you confused. And that was the thing that would have Adam so confused that he wants to combat the provision that the Spirit sent him. And the spirit just told him, like, bro, like, where was this at when you was in a different state? But now you in your animal state, and that's why you need the food. So stop tripping, Adam. Right? Let's go to chapter, that was chapter 40. We're on chapter 41. Then Adam took the fig and laid it on the golden rods. Eve also took her fig and put it upon the incense. And the weight of each fig was that of a watermelon, for the fruit of the garden was much larger than the fruit of this land. So now that's very interesting even of itself, because, well, I'm just keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing because I don't want to go into too many like sidebar commentaries. I know I read and respond, but I could read and respond to everything. These videos would be way too long. I'm trying to make them shorter. Let's just keep going. So you gotta think about that. A fig that's the size of a watermelon. That's what it says right there, right? Like a fig that, like, that's crazy. That is something, man. Like, dang, the fruit of the garden was much larger than the fruit of this land. But Adam and Eve remained standing and fasting the whole of that night until the morning dawn. When the sun rose, they were at their prayers, and Adam said to Eve, after they had done praying, "O Eve, come, let us go to the border of the garden, looking south, to the place whence the river flows, or where the river flows, and is parted into four heads. There we will pray to the Most High, or we will pray to God, and ask him to give us to drink of the water of life. For the Most High has not fed us with the tree of life in order that we may not live," meaning be immortal, like forever, without having to die. "We will therefore ask him to give us of the water of life and to quench our thirst with it, rather than with a drink of water of this land." So Adam is now Adam, if you notice, Adam is always the one who is like impressing upon Eve to do these things. Like what I just said, Adam has been here longer than her. He is really longing to get back into understanding of what he had. Because you got to understand, Adam is there. Eve is not there when all the animals start popping up, right? So when Adam gets tasked to be the steward of the earth and to take care of the animals, take care of the plants, and do all this stuff, and it's just him, Eve is not there. So he knows way more than she does when it comes down to what has been lost. She might be kind of clueless, like, especially if once she popped up, that deceiver showed up to deceive her, right? Because as soon as she popped up, here comes the deception to her. So she would have been very new to all of this, but for the deception to be one of the first things that she faces, that's something right there. That's kind of deep to me, because why didn't Adam get faced with the deception? You know, why don't we hear about Adam having to face that, the deception? But we hear about it from her. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of always interesting that Adam is always the one trying to get Eve to be like, hey, let's try to figure out what we could do to petition of the Most High. Remember when they went and he's like, look, for this many X number of days, you go over here to this part of the water, and I'm gonna go way over here to this part, and we gonna wash ourselves and try to get him to see that we serious and we want to be back to our higher state. Maybe we could repent. I don't know what we could do to prove our point that I don't want to be in this lower state. He's really the one pressing for that because he knows what the higher state is like. He knows. He's experienced it. So he's trying to get back. It's just always interesting that it's always him. Like, hey, maybe we can go try this. Hey, maybe we can go try this. But then ain't the spirit always letting him know, like, there's nothing you're going to be to do, Adam. You're going to have to walk this out, bro. We kind of always we kind of always end up talking about that in these videos. Like, and I say that piece of commentary, like, bro, you're going to have to walk it out. You're not going to be able to just rebound back like that, because it's just not the type of situation that it is. You transgress, you got told something specifically, you didn't listen, and you got to walk your punishment out. I'm not about to snatch this punishment off the table because you feel bad. You got told no, you did it, and you're walking it out. So when Eve heard these words from Adam, she agreed, and they both arose and came to the southern border of the garden, upon the brink of the river of water at some little distance from the garden. And they stood and prayed before the Most High, and asked him to look upon them this once, to forgive them, and to grant them their request. After this prayer from both of them, Adam began to pray with his voice before the Most High, and said, O Lord, when I was in the garden and saw the water that flowed from under the tree of life, my heart did not desire, neither did my body require to drink of it, neither did I know thirst, for I was living and above that which I am now. So this is very evident in what I'm always saying. This is Adam. He's not saying when we. He's saying me, when I was in the garden and I saw the water that flowed from under the tree of life, and my heart didn't desire it, neither did my body want to drink it. I didn't know thirst, for I was living and above that state which I am in now. In other words, he knew he was in a higher state. Okay? All right. So that in order to live, I did not require any food of life, neither did I drink of the water of life. So again, I'm not having to eat or drink to live. Okay. All right. So because remember here. Okay. Look, here's the thing you have to pay attention to. Remember, in Genesis, they are told you can eat from all of this, but don't mess with this right here. Right? So that lets you know right there what Adam is saying. This is he's saying, like, I don't know what it's like to have to be feeling like thirsty and hungry like this. Because you got to imagine, like, even as humans now, we get thirsty and hungry, right? Imagine if you are some of the first humans on the planet and you knew of the state that we came from, and you transitioned into the lower state, and you're the first ones having to deal with real hunger and thirst, and you don't even really understand it for real, because the state that you were in before, you never had to worry about it. That's going to be so... I could see why Adam is like, keep having his hard time, but... And then the relationship with him and the Most High is new, because it's like, well, as far as new in the state that they were in the lower state, because it's like he keeps getting told certain things, and it's clear and obvious and evident that it's the Spirit talking to him, but he still finds himself questioning and wrestling. Like, I'm going through that right now with a certain situation that I'm facing in my life, and it's like, I know for a fact that the Most High is always supernaturally looks out for me, and I know that he looks out for his children. And I know that, especially when it comes down to like prayer and petitioning to him and bringing it to him. And it's still like sometimes where it just be like, God, why? You see that? Because the human mind can be so obsessed with why. You understand? And I think that's one of the things with walking with the Most High is the understanding of sometimes you just walk it out, human. It's, you know, you look at what you have versus where you could be, or, you know what I'm saying? Look at what you have versus what you don't have that could be worse. You see what I'm saying? Like, be grateful, like, see the provision, and understand that sometimes we're getting moved around things. See, because we're talking about us here now, like we've been walking this relationship with the Most High, and we've been trying to get to know God and all these years and all this stuff, and even from this time to now, it's a totally different thing. So we should be even more secure in understanding, especially when the provision of the Most High for real, and that the power of the Spirit is real, and you've experienced it. It's like it kind of be a little backwards to be like on some trying to worry and petition and always ask why. But like what I just told you, it gets the best of us. And sometimes we have to just press in and trust the voice of the Most High, and just understand it, like, no matter what's going on around us, no matter how people are looking at us, pointing a finger, no matter who's talking about us behind our back, no matter who's cracking jokes about the whatever we may be going through, the state we're in, whatever like that, they may not understand it. Once the Most High reveals and leads us through what we're supposed to be walking through, then it's like after that point, all the pressure is gone, and then you kind of sit back and you think like, man, I was tripping for no reason. I was on something that I ain't even had no reason. What was the point of me even being on that? Right? Like, so I just find it interesting that Adam's always the one trying to figure out, like, man, what we could do real fast to get back. Let me hurry and finish this video, because I'm a finish this one, and then we gonna hit chapter 42 and I think 43 in the next video. So when Eve heard these words from Adam, she agreed, and they both arose and came to the southern border of the garden, upon the brink of the river of water, at some little distance from the garden. I think I already read that. And they stood and prayed before the Most High, and asked him to look upon them this once, to forgive them, and to grant them their request. So there go Adam trying to get back again, trying to get to something. After this prayer from both of them, Adam began to pray with his voice from God, his voice before the Most High, before God, and said, O Lord, O highest one, when I was in the garden, or O sacred one, O holy one, oh, you're so great, the great one. When I was in the garden and I saw the water that flowed from under the tree, like, okay, I read this already, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna read it again. My heart did not desire, neither did my body requires a drink of it, neither did I know thirst, for I was living and above that state which I am in now. So that in order to live, I did not require any food of life, neither did I drink the water of life. But now, O God, O Most High, I am dead. Is he dead for real? No, he's talking about the nature that he once knew. So he felt that that's a very deep statement right there. My flesh is parched with thirst. Give me the water of life, that I might drink of it and live. Of thy mercy, O Most High, or O God, save me from these plagues and trials, and bring me into another land different from this, if thou will not let me dwell in thy garden. Man, if you're not going to let me dwell in the garden, if you're not going to let me get back to the higher state, can you just take me somewhere different than this? Adam is distraught. Like I said, Adam keep on finding himself irritated, frustrated, because look, like what I said, Adam, before Eve pops up, he's around. Okay? He knew the higher state longer than she did. Okay? So that's why he's the one always trying to figure out, like, man, I got to get back. 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 This is crazy. I got to get back. I can't deal with this anymore. I got to be trying to find food, trying to find water. I ain't never had to deal with this before. And then I got to, man. I'm sorry, man. It's just really interesting to me, because it mimics the modern human. We trying to get back to understanding something higher, better about ourselves, and it's just like, you gotta walk it out, human. Like, all right, y'all. So that's 41. No, I'm sorry, that's 40 and 41. Next video is 42. Well, we're gonna start with 42. See where we go. Peace.